hear us. We're seeing someone say, people saying the sound isn't clear or the audio isn't clear. So I hope everyone can hear us audibly.
And I see there was a comment just now of someone asking if they could ask us a question. Yes, most definitely. You can ask us anything through the live. Also, if you do feel like you need that individual attention, please do reach out to us. Our call center is open 24 hours every single day. So there is always a counselor waiting to get your call. You just have to reach out and call us.
The lines are buzzing as we speak, so you can definitely call us. And our number is also on the website. So if you do want support, if you do want to talk to someone, absolutely do give us a call and let's see how we can help you. Because there's always help and there's so much hope out there. And this is what we want to talk about, right? So that there is, obviously there's a lot of people struggling. It's the new year. And we're trying to get to our place. We're trying to sort of solidify ourselves and see where we stand. And, with that comes a lot of mental issues that we've carried from the past. And we really just want to ensure that everybody is okay, and that's why we're having these conversations. To ensure that everyone's fine and everybody knows where their footing is, particularly with this very important issue which is your mental health.
Definitely, I totally agree with you. And I think we should share the theme for this week is hope. Creating hope through action, through speaking to people, just by mere conversations. And that's our whole aim today as well, through this live, is to create that hope for people. And, we just want to let you know there is help out there. You just have to reach out.
Exactly. And so the topic, because we've kick-started Teen Suicide Prevention Week, is we are just trying to ensure that everybody knows what to do with family members, with friends, colleagues, particularly in the school sort of environment where, talking to someone might not be as easy as we think it is, right? And so we want to open up that conversation to ensure that everybody gets help, but also everybody knows how to, help themselves, how to take care of their mental health, which is really, really important and is particularly something that we want to raise today.
And I do feel like we are on social media most of the time, always scrolling, finding different people with different comments and, sharing their thoughts and feelings. And through our chat today, what we want to do is show you how you can help a person that seems to need the help through their posting.
Yeah, I think we can start off, because we do want to first, before we even get to that, how do we really identify someone who might be struggling with their mental health? Someone we can see isn't okay and hasn't been doing okay for some time. How do we identify that? What are sort of the warning signs of someone who isn't particularly okay?
Yeah, I think from what we learn and what we see is when people are not themselves, so the behavioral patterns change and you can see the moods change as well. So what happens is they become more isolated and withdrawn, and I think that's one of the biggest symptoms.
Yeah.
Google, what do you come across?
I think that's definitely something there, right? When your behavioral patterns change, particularly at school. If you are this very happy person who is very outgoing, right? And then you start drawing back. Sort of your attention span is also not there as much, and those are things that we can't tell obviously with somebody else. But when you do know someone and you know that this is they're not acting the way that they would be acting, if you know that a person goes to the tuck shop more regularly and they've started doing that, we could start the conversation. What's happening? Are you okay? I see you haven't been eating a lot of break. Is there an issue there, right? So we are able to spot these behavioral patterns and these changes in people's moods as well. If people are sleeping a lot in class, right? That's something that could also say, hey, there's something going on here, and something might not be okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And also, if they're in class and they're having difficulty to concentrate, or they're having difficulty just to keep up with the class, or understanding things where before they never used to have this issue,
Exactly.
it's another sign or symptom that you can look out for.
Yeah.
Also, people that, your eating patterns change. So you see this person, they losing weight drastically, or they're picking up weight drastically. That could be another sign that you could find, and those are the people you can start looking at to see if they have the other symptoms. Of course, you have to look for a cluster of symptoms. It can't just be one isolated one. But I think the most important thing is looking for behavioral pattern changes.
Yeah.
Once those behavioral patterns change,
you know. And I just thought of something as well, the way that we speak about ourselves, right? When we start moving from I'm fine to really thinking and pondering on that answer. I'm okay, I could be better. When our language starts changing, that's one of the ways that we can also identify that someone isn't feeling too great, and there might be an issue there might be an issue with their mental health, which is something that we can start to address. And so with that, how do we then start that conversation? How do we say to someone, listen, Fatima, I can see you're not doing very well. How do we go about that? Because it is a difficult issue, to talk about suicide, to talk about things like depression and not feeling too good. How do we then open up that space where someone is able to talk about what they're going through?
The one most important thing is being authentic and honest. So you see these people this person going through something that's difficult. And what you can do is start off with just saying, hey, how are you? A simple question like that, it's a general question that we always ask each other. But as they go on and they say, I'm okay. And then you go, are you sure that you're okay? How are you really doing? I noticed that you've been a bit more withdrawn from me, or you've been more quieter.
Yeah.
And that could be something that could open for them.
Absolutely.
And through that, an important conversation can build up, which is important.
Yeah. And I think, another thing is how you approach them, right? So if you approaching them with the mentality that you are going to listen to whatever it is they're going to say, coming from a very non-judgmental space, right, where you ask someone, how are you feeling today? You sort of have to prepare yourself to undertake whatever it is that they have to say to you and really try and help them through that process. So your approach is very, very important. Ensure that you are empathetic, right? And that you assure them that they're not alone, that you're here to listen to them, that this is a safe space, and that you're there to help them. And once that conversation gets going where you're like, I know you haven't been feeling too well, I can see that there's a bit of a change. If you need to talk to someone, I'm there for you, or somebody is there for you, and someone can undertake that conversation if you're not comfortable with me. I think as long as we know that there's someone there and someone who is willing to help, it makes a world of a difference.
I so totally agree with you. The biggest thing for someone that's going through a difficult time is feeling alone, feeling hopeless, feeling helpless. And if you're reaching out to them, it's almost like giving them that new little glimmer of hope that they never had before. And it actually triggers the thought that, oh, there's actually someone that cares for me.
Exactly.
They cared enough to notice that there was a change with me. I think that is amazing. And I have to add to your comment about how to approach. I think if you're approaching a person with that thought pattern of I want to help this person, or I want to just be there for this person, that is more than enough. If you're going with the mindset of saying, oh, it's an intervention, they need the help, it sort of sets a different tone.
It does.
Right?
It does.
And I think that's something we need to just work on, making sure that we're going in there with this thought of helping a person, and just being empathetic. And in most cases, they just want to be listened to, and that's it.
They want to be understood. And, echoing that, when people want to be understood, and this is why people don't approach a lot of these conversations, or they don't start these conversations themselves, because they feel they might be judged, or they might be put down, or their feelings might not be validated. When I say approach the situation in a way that encourages help, this means that you are willing to really, really undertake anything and everything that this person has to say. But also the way that you help them also shows that you care, that you're empathetic, and that you really want to create this space for them, right? So it really is in the way that you sort of approach that conversation and say, we're here for you. How can we do this? And sometimes it can, situations can differ, right? It can be a family member. It can be a friend. It can be a teacher. It can literally be anyone. And I think once you assess how you are going to adapt to the environment that this person is in, but also then approach them in a way that makes it easy for them to open up to you. Because half the time, people do not want to open up. They feel like they're going to be judged. They feel like someone is going to say, but you'll be okay. You'll be fine. This is a phase. You'll get through it, right? Mm-hmm. And we don't want that. We want our feelings to be validated. We want to be seen for what we're feeling. And we actually want someone to hold our hand through it so we can actually get the help that we need. Right?
I so totally agree with you, Wetu. You brought up such an interesting topic about how to support a loved one, because most of us don't know how to do that, or we don't know if we are being intrusive, if I could say, or being, nosy in simple terms. And it's finding that balance, and that's quite difficult. But noticing a family member that's going through all of this and reaching out to them could give them that added support. But at the same time, they wouldn't want to hear something like, it's okay, just make yourself strong. Because that is something that makes you feel, you're already feeling weak and you're not feeling okay. So by saying something like that is not okay.
Yes.
So it's about thinking, or just being there to listen to them in that moment and reassuring them, keep reassuring them, it's okay, you are going to be okay, and taking it from there.
And this is a conversation. So we've opened this platform where you can ask questions as well. So if you have a question, put it up on here. Let's see it. Let's answer your questions, because we are trying to end the stigma, right? Have these conversations. We're trying to make this a normality, where it's not a closeted space where we call you into a room, like you mentioned, an intervention. We're trying to make it everyday conversations. Our mental health is something that we live with every single day. And once we open that platform where people are able to share without having to, ask for a private space or have an intervention for someone who we feel might not be okay, that is when we will know that stigma has been completely removed, right?
Most definitely. And I think with stigma, it is so difficult for people just to reach out and get help.
Yeah.
And in most cases, they do use social media. If you scroll through your TikTok, your WhatsApp, your Instagram, sometimes there's a subliminal or an underlying message in their post.
Absolutely.
And when you see that, you need to reach out to them. Or way to, you probably came across a friend or a loved one that's probably posted something that may be concerning. How did you approach them on that?
Sometimes, like I said, it does come in various ways, right? We can see the behavioral patterns, but we can also see what they're posting online, like you said. And I've definitely come across a number of people who have been, who've expressed that they're not okay, who've said subliminally and quite, very openly that they're not fine. And, at times we might not have the capacity to help them on our own, but we can always refer them to where there is help. And so SADAG has developed these tools where we're able to report or to flag a post that we feel maybe has a little bit of eminence in there, or there is a bit of a risk, or this person is experiencing depression or is talking about suicide. Then we can always flag them, and it will come through to SADAG where we are able to help them. We always try to have and gather people who aren't feeling too good, people who are expressing that they're not okay. So there are a number of tools that we can go through, me and Fatima, where you you really can find help. You know, one of them is Facebook. So if you see a post on Facebook and you can see that there's a little bit of an undertone of not being okay, or maybe an undertone of suicide there are 3 dots on the post, right? You click on those three dots and it's going to show you a number of options. One of those options is report post. Okay, so you click on report post, and you will then identify the reason as to why you're reporting this post. And in this case, it would be suicide or self-harm. They usually give you the reason. So you will click on suicide or self-harm. And even if it isn't, right, when SADAG approaches this person, we will ensure that we talk about whatever it is that they might be going through. So whether it's depression, it's bipolar, it's family issues, right? It might not include suicide. But then you go on to suicide, you click that, and then it will come through to SADAG. So that's one of the ways that you can report. And that goes the very same way for Instagram as well. If there's a post and it shows a little bit of imminence, there's a little bit of an undertone of not being okay, click on the post, the little 3 dots, it'll show you report post, okay? And then it will also show you the option. So this, in this case, will also be suicide or self-harm. You click on that, and then you report it, send it through, and you don't have to worry about it, because we will then ensure that this person is reached and they are contained and everything is okay.
And also, our resources are there. So even if you search for suicide on any platform, usually there's a pop-up that will come with our numbers. So there's always a place, and SADAG is visible on most platforms, and we've partnered with most platforms, so you will find us.
Yes.
On X, which used to be known as Twitter. You can also report on there. So it's again those 3 little dots at the top of a post, and you follow the prompts again. With TikTok, it's exactly the same. You're going to click on the share button. And in the share button, you'll see a report section. You click on it, and what opens is a page, and it has resources. So it has Childline and SADAG's helpline. You can then click on it to contact if you want to contact directly. If not, you can then carry on reporting the case.
Yeah, the incident. Yeah. And also, you know, if it is a comment under a post, right, you do want to, you know, encourage that person, say, listen, there is hope, here is a number, right? And you can give them SADAG's number, which is available on our website, www.sadag.org, right? Or you could also tag SADAG on there. We have all of the social media pages. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, and we have TikTok. So no matter what social media platform you're on, you could always say, hey, listen, there is help, there is hope, please contact SADAG. You tag them, and then we will always be there to help them, because there's a number of counselors who are looking for these emergencies, especially on you know, the comments. We also check DMs as well. So if you do find that there is someone who is struggling, shoot us a DM, let us help them. If you are struggling yourself and you haven't been able to find the help, SADAG is there for you. Just search SADAG, and you are on, maybe on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Search SADAG, send us a DM, tell us you're not okay, leave a number there, let's call you, let's help you, right? So there's always something to do, particularly on social media, because that's where we spend most of our time, right? So
Exactly.
This is where we see all of these issues and people just saying that they're not okay.
Yes, exactly. And with the reporting tool for TikTok, if you do report, so if you click on share report and it says suicide or self-harm, click on it. It's usually for people that are maybe sharing information on how to self-harm or suicide, attempt suicide, all these ideas that they may have. If they're having suicidal ideation, you can flag it. And obviously from there, we can pick it up and help. TikTok will also send reporting tools where we can then help the person out.
Yeah.
So just remember, anytime you see anyone posting on your social media feed and they seem like they need help or they're feeling extremely overwhelmed, we are there. Reassure them, tell them that there is help, there is hope. Reach out to SADAG and then tag us in it. And maybe even add a helpline number for us, which would help them.
Definitely would help them. And another thing that I just remembered now that you spoke about TikTok is that if you go on the search button right at the top of your TikTok, you can search suicide. And the first thing that's going to come up there is an info page where you can click on the website, like I said, SADAG's website, which is www.sadag.org, and you can find all the information that you need. You can also find little videos that show you how to report, eminence, or how to report maybe someone who isn't feeling too good. And another one, a lot of information about bipolar, suicide, schizophrenia, anything that you feel you might want to read up on before you reach out, or something that you might want to give to someone who maybe has a new diagnosis and doesn't really know what's going on with their mental health. You can always send them to the website and they can receive all of that information on there as well, which is a really good tool, because once you're educated about what you're going through, it becomes easy to deal with it, right? And that's why we want to open up this conversation.
And also, learning more about something makes you familiar with it, which then takes away the stigma again, because now you know it's something that's there and it's common, and there are people that would experience it. I do see a question from Google, and she says that she's reaching out to SADAG for all the learners that she works in. And sometimes she does have difficulty getting through to us. Google, sometimes what happens is our lines do get busy. And so what you need to do maybe is try an alternative number. We share a few numbers with you at the end of the live, but remember, visit our website. There are a whole lot of other numbers there. Plus there's our WhatsApp helpline. There's a contact form where we can then directly contact you as well. There are many ways of contacting us, even through SMS, and just messaging us through SMS and saying, it's urgent, the learner might not be with me later, please contact me as soon as possible, and a counselor will contact you.
Definitely contact you. There is a number of ways that we can get that contact there. Obviously, it is sometimes very difficult, particularly when the lines are quite busy, because it is Teen Suicide Prevention Week. The lines are very busy, and sometimes you might not get to everyone. But because we have all of these tools, right? Our website also has contact a counselor where you can fill in a form and a counselor will call you. We have the SMS line where you could send us an SMS and a counselor will also call you. We have WhatsApp where you can chat to a counselor and then you'll be directed for a call. So there's all of these tools that can help anyone. Also, if you're comfortable with WhatsApp, if you're comfortable with completing a form, it's all there for you, and you will absolutely get help. So our numbers is not the only way to get help. There's so many more things that you can do to sort of get that help. But thank you for asking that, because it really is important to emphasize these other tools as well.
Definitely. Yeah. And also it's important to know that you can reach out to us, and there's not only one number. There's many numbers, and there's many platforms. So a lot of us these days are not comfortable with just picking up the phone and calling, but we're more comfortable with messaging or chatting for a bit. And for that comfort, we can then WhatsApp message or SMS and reach out to someone.
Yes, absolutely. Are there any more questions that we've received?
Michelle messaged and said SADAG saved her life.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you for having reached out, because there is hope, right? There is someone there to help you. There's always someone at the end of the line. And when you reach out, you show just how strong you are. Because it's difficult to acknowledge that there's an issue. It's difficult to say, I'm actually struggling with something and I need help. And for you to do that, for you to pick up your phone and say, I'm going to do something like this now, and I'm actually going to reach out and speak to someone about my problems, shows so much strength. And that's really, really good. So thank you so much, Michelle. And I really, like the fact that you acknowledged.
I actually just thought about it, and I was like, it takes so much of courage just to reach out. Because sometimes you feel like you can't get out of that situation. And reaching out is maybe an option that may be there, like at the last. And reaching out is so important. And I think the most underlying tone from both of us is we want to encourage you. If you are going through something difficult, or you are going through just something that you want to run through someone, we are there. And there are many people around you that actually do care for you. Yes. You just need to choose the person that you feel most comfortable with and reach out and get the help you need. And as a loved one as well, if you feel like you want to help someone, but you're not equipped enough to help someone, again, it's about referring them, giving the person resources of how they can reach out and get the help. So always encourage someone to reach out to us.
Yeah, and always be kind with it as well, right? It's not easy to, one, obviously see a family member, a friend who's going through something, but also having to refer them because you might not have the capacity to help them. So always be kind with that and say, I really want you to get help. And I think, you know, people who are more equipped and people who are more experienced in this realm will definitely help you.
Definitely.
Please do reach out. But you have my support. You can come to me at any time you need to talk. Once they know that they have a support system and they have a pillar, it's easy for them to actually get the help that they need. So it always takes a little bit of time, a little bit of pushing, but always gentle pushes. Push gently so that the person can get help, but also that they know that you care for them, so that they don't feel like you've just passed them on to the next thing, but you actually want them to get the help that they need.
I actually really like what you just said, because it's, yes, if you want to help them and give them the resources, but at the end of it all, it's you reaching out again to check up on them, and regular checkups are so important. I think that's something that will give them that extra courage to go ahead and get the help they need, but at the same time know that you actually do care for them.
I have to commend also the people who really do reach out for their family members, for their friends. That, like I said, is also not easy, right? Because you can see that they're struggling and you know of a place where they can get help. And for you to actually take the initiative, even if it's a stranger, to say, hey, listen, there is hope, you're not alone. We all care for you and we really want you to be okay. Here's a website, read up about the information and maybe call a counselor so you can get help. That is commendable. That shows that you really want to help and that you're empathetic and that you can also put yourself in that person's shoes and say, if I was struggling with something, how would I want someone to help me? So definitely hands to you guys for actually wanting to help people, because that also takes a lot. And I think it takes a lot of love as well to share a website, to share a number, you know, to say there is help. You can always contact someone.
Exactly. And I think it's so wonderful because we do often scroll through our TikTok and we see all these mentions, and we find people mentioning SADAG as the resource for others that have posted something that may be more concerning. And you guys, by doing that, you are helping someone, or you are equipping with someone with a tool that will help them through their processes of what they're going through. So yeah, thank you for doing that as well, because you're just spreading so much hope just by doing that.
So much hope, and that's what we're trying to do as well. So remember that always someone might be next to you and someone might need help, and you are there and you can equip them with that help and those resources. Just being in this life, right? Getting yourself that knowledge to say, if I don't have the capacity, then I can absolutely help someone. That is commendable as well. So thank you to everyone who has joined. Thank you so much, because you're now equipping yourself with this knowledge and you know what to do, where to go if you find someone who needs help as well. You know, and as we wrap up, we really just want to say, open up this conversation. Open up the space for people to talk to you, all right? And also give them these tools so they can receive help as well, because it's so important to save a life, right? And to say, your life is important, you are enough, you are worth it. And we want to know, and we want you to know that you will be okay and that we will be there to ensure that you are okay.
And I do think, before we wrap up, we have a very exciting Teen Suicide Prevention Week ahead of us. And we're already 3 days down and we have another few to go. And every single day we are doing some sort of activity online, on the ground, everywhere you can think of. So please do follow us, join us, find out what's our next lives that we are going to be doing. We're doing one on Instagram, one on Facebook. We're having a webinar tomorrow. I think.
We are.
Yeah. And then we are also running a very exciting campaign. So those that like singing, we have this amazing initiative where we have a Guijo song. And we'd like to challenge everyone that's watching this video today as well to take part in it. We will be posting lyrics, we'll be posting videos of recorded people that have sung it before. It's going to be really exciting.
It really is going to be exciting. It actually gives me goosebumps, thinking about it, because it's such a nice way to spread hope and to spread that message. So if you, can sing, you can belt out a note, sing for us, tag SADAG in it, post it, let's see it, spread the hope to all of your friends and your family so that they do know that there is someone who cares and there is an organization that is built really on just helping them, and their foundation is to ensure that everybody is okay and everybody takes care of their mental health.
And definitely share, repost, tag us, you name it.
Yeah.
Keep the momentum going with us, and we are excited to have our next live with you as well.
Thank you so much for joining, and I hope that this helped you a lot.
Thank you, and bye. Other side.